clipboard there.
Hey there, Cece Summerfield here this morning with Andy Wilt from People's Mortgage. Andy and I work together a lot helping buyers buy homes here in San Diego, and this morning we're going to focus on what's going on with the local market, how things are changing. I think everybody's kind of feeling that climate changing.
Sure.
And I wanted to ask Andy, from a lender's perspective, how do you feel, what do you feel is going on with the market, and what are you seeing with the buyers that you're helping recently?
Sure. I think everybody has got questions on the market, whether now is a good time to purchase or a price is going to come down, what's happening with interest rates. It's all very intermingled and confusing for consumers. I think there's a lot of, and I think that's really what's holding the market back, is a lot of fear and of the unknown. But when you unpack it, I think what we do know is that, you know, I hear people make the comparison, are we heading for another real estate crash?
Right.
And I think that that's really far from what is actually transpiring for a few reasons. The mortgage market is not the same mortgage market that we were in 2006.
I completely agree. I was there too.
Yep. So not to bore anyone, but the facts of what happened back then in that housing run-up was we had prices of homes were being artificially raised because we had a bunch of people who were purchasing homes that weren't qualified to purchase those homes, right? So we had waitresses buying investment properties with no money down on interest-only loans, basically speculating on the market, right? They had no qualifications.
Right.
So we had prices run up, and then when the music stopped, it was unsustainable because the people who had those mortgages, when they had vacancies or no longer had the increase of appreciation that they were expecting, just simply
to pay the mortgage.
They had no skin in the game. They had no down payment in it, so they just simply walked away, and then the dominoes just started falling. Yeah. Today's market, and since the regulations that were put in place to try to prevent any future crash have really been pretty well regulated. So anyone who's gotten a mortgage since 2008 has the income. It's been verified. They've got their own down payment or an acceptable source of down payment. Their credit criteria met all current standards. There isn't a subprime market out there for if you just had a bankruptcy, you can get a zero down loan. Right. Those type of buyers have not been able to participate in the market since the recovery. Right. So the foundation of our housing market is solid. We're back to the levels of appreciation that we were pre-crash.
We have seen that, yeah.
Yeah, and so what I think what's happened is that the economy has improved. We've gotten tax cuts and things that have gone into place that have really generated a lot of economic stimulus, and as a result, the Federal Reserve has tried to put the brakes on the economy to keep it from overheating. You've seen the Fed raise the rates pretty aggressively. They're going to continue to raise the rates, short-term rates, which have an impact on our mortgage rates. In 2019, so we saw prices have been going up at a pace that has outpaced the increase in income. Yeah. And then on top of that, we've had interest rates go from the low in 2012, middle of 2012, we were in the low 3s. We're now in the low 5s, okay? Yeah, so it's been a steady climb in interest rates since 2012, and a pretty aggressive increase in interest rates since the election of 2016, right? It's been going up. Today, we're 1% higher in rate than we were this time last year, okay? So you have prices go up, interest rates go up, and then of course the midterm elections, there's always that lore about, well, I'm not doing anything before the election, right? So we have all of that stuff, and it's just really put the brakes on the economy. Prices were rising too high. Now we've got buyers who are reluctant to pay the high price because rates went up. And you've got sellers who still want to sell for what homes were selling for in the spring.
Right. And it's just not happening anymore. I mean, that's been my experience for sure.
You have a standoff. So, that's exactly right.
Yeah, we do have a standoff. I'm hoping over the next couple months that that sellers will will come to reality on what's happening with the market. I know it's hard because when you have your neighbor who sold in, April, May for $25,000 higher than, you can get an offer for right now, it's really hard to understand how that could happen in such a short amount of time. But like Andy said, it's really because of I believe because of the interest rates. And buyers, from what I can see, are really taking a second look at what they're getting for the money that they're spending and what their payment's going to be. And San Diego's already not the most affordable market by any means. Everybody knows that.
Sure.
So it's also, qualifications. I mean, you said that there's a income level that you have to have a certain debt to income ratio, and that is huge when you're qualifying for a loan.
Absolutely, yeah.
So,
as prices go up, I mean, it's pretty simple economics, right? If the price for the home, if the price the seller is asking for the home continues to rise at 10% pace, and interest rates make the cost of financing that home more expensive, and it was already difficult for people to get into those homes, it's just eliminating a portion of the buyer pool. So that's really
what's happening, and it's every price range. Honestly, I mean, I've had homes from the mid threes up into the millions, and every price range is seeing that same kind of thing happening because qualifications. I mean, it doesn't matter. Again, it doesn't matter what the price range is. It's the qualifications of the people that are looking in that specific market. So, it's it's been an interesting market this year for listings and pricing listings and deciding where to price them to help the seller sell relatively quickly. Days on market are going up. I can from the stats that I pulled for San Diego, the closed sales, meaning the houses that actually closed escrow, are down by 16%, almost 17%, and that's on the detached homes, so any houses, not condos, not townhomes. On condos and townhomes, it's down 15%. The inventory is increased, so buyers, if you're out there and you've been frustrated with the market, I mean, now's the time to get back in the market because there is a 28% increase in houses available now in San Diego County.
That's right.
And if you're looking for a condo or a townhome, it gets even better. There's almost a 39% increase in inventory. So now's the time to get out there and look. You'll have more negotiating power because sellers still need to sell their properties.
Yes.
That's the bottom line. They have it on the market for a reason. They need to sell their property, and now you have all the. You really do have the power. I think it's changing into a buyer's market, and I think Andy would probably agree with me that we're headed into a buyer's market.
Well, it was. I think everybody would agree that this past summer, and even before that, it was an unfair seller's market. Buyers were bullied. They felt pressured into over asking price with no contingencies. You're going to pay the difference if it doesn't appraise.
Ridiculous things.
So it was an unbalanced market.
It really was.
What we're going to see is a more equalized market. You're going to see that there's still going to be homes that need to sell. There's still buyers who want to buy. It's just going to be a more level playing field. I don't know that the buyers are going to have the
other
advantage, but it's definitely.
Yeah.
You would know more than I would.
Well,
but it seems
having been through that bullied market, I mean, I felt bullied as a buyer's agent.
Sure.
I felt helpless as a buyer's agent
Sure.
when my clients, when I said, this is what you're going to have to do if you really want this property. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, I can't believe what I'm having to ask.
Yeah, and I was on the other end of it. Can you close this deal in 14 days?
Yeah, exactly.
What happens if it doesn't appraise? We get it.
It was really tough. So I'm actually looking forward to a more balanced market, being able to have time to market a property for the seller, helping them get the highest and best price they can for what the market will allow at this point, and also helping buyers be able to have more time and think over what they're buying and make sure it's the right fit for them. I still say for any buyers that are buying right now, and I have said this for the last probably one or two years, is that if you're going to buy right now, it really is a buy and hold market. It's going to be your home. It's going to be the place that you live for the next 5 to 7, even maybe 10 years. I would not plan on buying and expecting the appreciation to happen quickly, like over a 2-year period, and move. So that's where I come from with the buyers that I help. Although I will say the median sales price, and this could be skewed with several things, with high sales price homes selling and skewing the number, but it did say overall in San Diego County. It's up 6.3% last month.
Yeah.
So
I was going to interject and say that, I think it's important that sellers and buyers understand that we're not seeing a crash in the market.
no,
We were
not at
seeing
all.
8 to 10% increase in values over the last year or so. That's not sustainable. That's not a healthy market.
No.
Prices are not going to, homes are not depreciating. They're just, the rate of appreciation is just slowing.
Yeah.
All the major indicators are still predicting, the Case-Shillers and, stuff that you got, not all the consumers pay attention to, but all of the major indexes that measure appreciation are still forecasting that we're going to see a 3 to 5% increase in value year over year into 2019 and even
That's
into
healthy.
2020.
That's really healthy.
So when you talk about whether it's the right time to buy or not, yes, it's the right time to buy because owning a home is the only way to control your own destiny.
True.
As a renter, the landlord is in control. You're still going to have a cost for housing, right? You're still going to pay. You're paying
And that's not going down either, Andy, by the way. That's crazy high rents too.
Depending on if you're living at the beach, you're living inland, or how many bedrooms you have, you're paying somewhere between $2,000 to $5,000 a month in rent. Okay, so turn that over to buying a mortgage or buying a house with a mortgage. You're still going to have a fixed, or I should say, to your point, now you have a fixed payment on what your housing costs are going to be, and a percentage of that is going towards reducing the amount that you owe the bank every month. So it's like a savings account. You're paying yourself for owning the property. Nobody can tell you when you have to move out. Nobody can tell you, no, you can't do that. You can't hang those drapes. You can't paint the house that color.
And don't forget about the tax breaks you get too for owning homes. I mean, that's still a real positive thing.
Yeah, there was some reform in the new tax code that, talk to your CPA, call me. I'm happy to run through those scenarios. I won't go into depth here, but there was some limits to the amount of interest that you can deduct, as well as property tax, depending on your income and how you're filing. But there's absolutely still benefit to being a homeowner.
I mean, as a renter, you don't get any of the benefits, so there's the point. So I think it's going to be a good year in 2019. Again, a more balanced market, and I look forward to working and helping many people buy and sell here in San Diego.
Sure.
And I'll be working with Andy, I'm sure, on at least a few deals, right? For our buyers.
All the deals.
Okay, all the deals. There you go. All the deals we're working with Andy.
I'm happy to give free consultations if you're wondering whether or not you can qualify to buy, or if now is the right time for you. Look, CC knows I don't pressure anyone. It's all about education. We'll take a look at your situation, determine what your eligibility is, and run the numbers. And if it makes sense for you and your family, I'll make sure that I and CC will make sure that we take good care of you and educate you on the market and make sure you're making the right decisions for you and your family.
Yep,
Sure.
sounds good. Well, thanks for joining me today, Andy. And just want to do a quick plug for this weekend. I have an open house, a listing I have in Spring Valley. It is the cutest little house in Spring Valley, and it's probably also the most affordable house in Spring Valley. It is listed at $335, and I will be there on Sunday from 1 to 4 p.m. Please come out and see me, or if you know somebody that's looking for a detached single-family home instead of a condo, this is condo priced, come by and take a look at it on Sunday between 1 and 4. Thanks, guys. Have a good Friday.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah, that too.